I hit record.
Clap on 1. 3, 2, 1.
No, you stopped it. You can't slow down on the 1.
All right,
You gotta keep the same pace.
Clap on 1. All right, 3, 2, 1.
I'm not even looking at you. I'm just looking at Danny Elfman. Oh God. What happened?
He looks like you shaved a gremlin and then sent him to prison in St. Petersburg.
GQ's tagline is how Danny Elfman got that Coachella body. Oh, that's what it's called apparently. I am not here for it. Wow. He went full Carrot Top. Like Carrot Top might look a little better than him now.
Yeah, well, I don't think Carrot Top did like the whole monster tattoos thing.
Yeah.
Or did he? I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while.
I don't actually know if I saw Carrot Top shirtless or if it's just like...
Topless, please. Carrot Topless.
God damn it. You're
This
right.
is a
That's on me. Carrot Topless. That just sounds like he's Greek. Like his last name is Karatopoulos. Oh, God. I don't even know where I was anymore. Danny Elfman. Holy shit. If you haven't seen him in a while, Google it.
I think he recently... Yeah, no, he's looking rough these days.
Oh, God bless him.
Don't know if I go that far.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is a special episode of the Save State in that only one of us has played the game so far.
Yeah.
But Mike's gonna fix that and play it here just real quick.
I am loading it right now.
Probably edit some of this out because there'll be some times where we're not being funny or interesting. But the game is Aldo's Adventure.
Yes.
Which came out in 1987. I played it probably 8 years after that on a shareware disc. It is an arcade game clone. Which,
Okay.
will be fun for you to guess what game it's a clone of.
Well, there's ladder screens, so I have a theory, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so I'm assuming this is going to be arrow key control.
Oh, yeah.
Let me clear off that side of my keyboard here.
At least on the DOSBox emulator we're using. I don't remember what it was originally back in the day.
Yeah, well, this is just going to be in the web browser. I didn't know that I could emulate with DOSBox, or I would have grabbed it.
Well, it is. The browser is an emulator. DOSBox.
Yeah. It's just at the bottom. It says, "Hey, you can download this and run it through your own DOSBox, and it'll be better."
Okay. I mean, there's a few. It plays just fine. There's a few image some ghosting that happens.
Okay.
Although I think some of it might have originally been in the game.
Interesting. All right, let me begin. Okay, I've game archive loaded. I've hit full screen. Oh, there we go. Now I'm full screen. All right.
Not necessary.
I needed the full experience. No. Okay.
I don't know that gotta love that theme music, sound effects.
There's no sound effects.
Yeah, exactly.
What? I just thought something was broken on my side.
That's the proper way to experience shareware.
Okay. Holy shit. God damn it. I used to see what you don't know. All right, for the people at home, this is not entertaining podcasting, but what I'm playing is like Mario's cousin, who's in the porn industry, given that hair he's got. Oh God, I just died. Is trying to. Are these black olives? No, they're little barrels. Okay, I see when they turn to the side, they're little barrels. They just look like black olive slices from one side. Or a button, I guess. Mm-hmm. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is horrible. I was just about to brag about how I saved up enough points one time, I think through Taco Bell, and I got myself a Game Watch that had Donkey Kong on it. So I was able to be in math class, not learning math, but instead learning the power of Donkey Kong. I got really good at it too.
Does your Donkey Konging skills help you in Aldo's adventure?
It's coming back to me now. I don't know. There's something here. The magic is lost a little bit on this one. I don't know if it's the lack of
because
music,
there's no Donkey Kong,
or the screen tear, or there's just this. Is there a certain reveal where you find out who's the asshole doing this?
I don't know. I've never gotten.
Oh God!
This is either one of those
Fuck
games
this.
that I've only done 5 levels because I couldn't get past them, or there's only 5 levels that just cycles through.
Fantastic. But no way to know. Okay, so you can't hop over on the other side. I didn't know if it was that poor quality that it was just going to let me portal over,
loop
like wrap around.
no.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right. Got through that side. Oh, gotta wait for this pattern. I mean, this is the real thing with these games, right? Is that there's a lot of pattern timing that you just have to wait for.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they really mix themselves up. It's not dynamic. It's not going to go like, oh, well, the player's over here, so we should try to like load over in this area. It is just a constant basic loop. Although to be fair, I don't know if Donkey Kong did that either.
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay, that was weird. To land on the item was to not acquire the item. I had to get off of the item, step away from it, and then pick up the item. Mm-hmm. Great. Holy shit, I guess it's been safe for a long time, but this is okay, here we go. Okay, on to the 4th stage.
Oh, you're moving right along, huh?
I'm moving right along. I don't think I can touch that. Okay, hang on. Are we safe? All right, no fall damage. Good. At least it had that one thing going for it. Don't know why the ladders get used by the barrels like that. That seems all gone.
Did you die or did you beat it?
No, I died.
Okay.
I guess I can. No, I died.
That's it. That's the end. All right. No need to talk about it anymore. You've got the gist of it.
Interesting.
So,
let's discuss who Aldo is and what are their motivations. Do you think they've properly conveyed the hero's journey to us? I don't feel like I saw Aldo reject the call.
I mean, Joseph Campbell was just writing about patterns he recognized, not like the ideal storytelling.
No. It's the only way a story can be told, and otherwise it's not a story.
Yeah. So backstory. I played this a lot when I was like 7 years old.
Okay.
And this was or maybe 6, because this was like the only game, like one of the few games I had, and I knew people liked Mario, but none of the shareware discs I had Mario on it, obviously, because computers. Mm-hmm. But I did have Aldo, and I kind of just thought this was Mario. Like, I thought that this version with his weird droopy pointy mustache and like his kind of Aldo almost looks like a racially insensitive depiction of an ethnicity that I don't know exists.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's that like curly locked hair coming off the back. There's something about that with a mustache that is far too like biker handle for it to be a normal mustache. There's something going on there.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's no princess. It's just like some reused like pictures of gold chests.
Yeah, that's it. It's just treasure. It's not and like the ladders and stuff aren't even from them. They credit Yahoo for it. I don't even know what that's about.
This actually predates that Yahoo. This is another Yahoo.
Oh my
software.
God.
Yeah, I had to look them up.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the same Yahoo software, but there was Yahoo software, the company that started making games for K-Pros, which were like
nice. Hell yeah.
What they called luggable computers.
Yeah.
I don't know if so they're basically like
my dad had a K-Pro.
Yeah. they're like smart word processors with screens.
Yep.
And then they made this at some point. As far as I'm aware, they do not exist in the lineage of Yahoo, the search engine.
Oh God. That is I didn't add it to the gaming news, but it's very reminiscent of an article I saw that made me very upset about how AI has been used, like Midjourney and DALL-E, I think were used along with ChatGPT to make a video game. They used ChatGPT to write the lines of code. And they just made a game called Angry Pumpkins. That's just an Angry Birds reskin, like done very poorly too, because the pumpkins don't all look like right. Like they have an aesthetic to them. They have a look. They have like squinty, angry eyes, but then sometimes they won't have a mouth and it'll be like a weird mustache thing, or I don't know. It's just, I guess my point is that like laziness is never the answer when it comes to video games.
Well, I mean, also the milieu of this time was like you wanted to stick as many games onto shareware. Like a shareware disk was like,
it's like a Plex server.
Well, sort of. Technically, you paid money for them, but all the games on there were free. But you were paying for like the actual disc, so to speak. So the more games you could shove on a shareware disk, the more you could sell it for, or the more you could advertise. So you'd have like 100 games on one disc, or 40 games on one disc, or whatever. And so, yeah, you'd end up with discs that were just 30 to 40 different clones of arcade games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it has colors.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say it doesn't have colors.
No, it's got them.
It also chose to go with a gray background, which I thought was an inspired choice.
Yep. With that classic black barrel with white trim. Mm-hmm. Yep. All those barrels you see that are just pitch black with white trim.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I didn't know as a kid that that's what they were supposed to be until I played Donkey Kong many years later.
How could you?
I thought they were like...
What was my first instinct? Black olives and then buttons.
Yeah, I thought they were like little licorice candies.
Oh yeah. Those like little ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love those.
And then, I mean, just as good of a reason for jumping off of those than the barrels, because again, there is no Donkey Kong throwing the barrels at you.
Nothing.
There's just
it's
just they just fall out of the sky.
Well, on two of them, it was like a little port that they came out of.
Oh, that's true.
That I couldn't really say like if it was
trapdoor
from something or if it just appeared in the nothingness void. This feels like what Mario's stress dreams are. Like that's what Aldo's adventure is just a Mario stress dream.
Yeah. Aldo, the Turkish Spider-Man of...
Yes, that is it. That is absolutely... Yeah, I was trying to think. It felt very like Russian Pinocchio to me, but no, I think you nailed it. Oh, wow.
So, yeah, if you could remember, if you could just imagine, like my earliest experiences of video games are like this, and then that Blues Brothers game, you could understand like why I have such low standards for video games.
Yeah. I would like to say that our group has a very high tolerance and forgiveness for video games, not a low standard for them.
True.
Everyone else is just a bougie snob.
Also true.
So I guess we should say welcome to the Safe State, a podcast where we like to pick a game, play a game, and talk about it, sometimes on the podcast.
And we're done. We're done already.
And we're
so
done.
We can
Holy
just knock
shit.
off early.
That's awesome. I get to play some more Alan Wake 2. A little bit of spoiler for what I've been playing this week.
Damn.
Yeah. But no, let's what do we say more about Aldo's adventure here? I guess what this opens up is a discussion about what are the old DOS era games that you remember most from your childhood outside of Aldo. Was it all shareware or was it?
Oh yeah, it was all shareware.
Okay.
I don't think I like the first game I had that was like someone purchased for me was Castles 2: Siege and Conquest, which is a strategy game made by the same people who ended up making Fallout actually. And the thing about it, and this has caused no end of sorrow and grief on my end, but it came with several old BBC documentaries about castle architecture, which to me was very interesting.
Yeah, this is really like the origin story of Arvid then, like in that moment.
Yeah, and so I watched those probably more often than I played the game because they were supposed to like teach you how to build a good castle, and I was just like, I'm just gonna watch these. And flash forward, many years later, and I try and find those BBC documentaries, and I literally spent like a week hunting them down, asking on message boards, like going through old BBC like reels and stuff I could find on YouTube. I even emailed the BBC archive, not that they responded. But I did manage to find this. There were basically two documentaries they quoted from. One was a children's show, like aimed for third graders, I think, about medieval warfare.
Mm-hmm.
The name of the program was like Pinwheel or something, but it wasn't Pinwheel. That's the American one. But the other one was presented by the Earl of Anglesey, or the Marquess of Anglesey,
What?
Or at least the 8th Marquess of Anglesey. Anyway,
The Biz Marquess of Anglesey.
the Biz Marquis
Yes.
of Anglesey. Anyway, and he was just like this nobleman from Wales who just spent all of his time writing about military history, mostly like this one cavalry regiment that his father served in, like his entire life. And, he just did this documentary about castle fortifications, and I have every word he ever said in the things burned into my brain.
You have no ability to build a memory palace because you have too much of this shit cluttering it up.
I mean, I probably could build a memory palace, but it would, adhere to Norman castle architecture from the 12th century.
Hey, sounds like a big-ass palace.
But anyway, I could not find that one documentary. It probably disappeared because the BBC does not keep records of everything, as Doctor Who fans know, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But his grandfather is one of the most interesting people I've ever found. Let me just find a picture of him real quick.
Yeah. This is definitely you Googling and not you just going through your documents folder where you just have all of this archived.
Well, I don't have this particular photo archived. This one,
Okay.
This one I had to Google. But
Yeah. Because in this one, he has all his clothes on. Let's see.
If you just Google the 5th Marquess of Anglesey, there are some amazing photographs.
He is,
this guy was
like what inspired the concept for Thor: Love and Thunder, at least aesthetically. Like, he is very Asgardian looking in that.
He's somewhere between
Wow. Like, have you ever seen the Lady Liberty where they have like the sparklers instead of the crown? It's kind of that vibe, but with Valkyrie wings and this is
gestures.
This is amazing. Why don't we dress like this anymore? I could get down with that. Oh shit, I don't know. That's incredible.
So that is how Aldo's Adventure reminds me of this guy.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Oh man.
Maybe I'll find a picture of him. We can use it for the splash or something.
Count Dripula over here. Shit. Impressive.
But anyway, his grandson did a documentary, and that's why I'm talking about this.
There's no photo of him that's not good. Yes, that's why you're talking about this. This would have been another one of young Arvid's early influences. Interesting.
And the other one was a game called ELFLAND, which is so terrible, I will only inflict it upon you if I feel really, really mean.
Oh. Well, now I really want to check it out. You know me and bad video games. That's kind of how we got started on this whole conversation.
I'm sorry. I'm still just looking at pictures of the Marquess of Anglesey.
Yeah, no, I get it. They're all just prime. Fuck yeah.
Like, if you can imagine, like, a 1930s Robin Hood movie, but all the costumes were made by, like, someone who was, like someone who did fashion for, like, the Met Gala nowadays, but was teleported back in time.
And also was a huge fan of that one woman who did the fruit on her head. Like, it all kind of has that vibe to it.
Carmen Miranda.
Yes.
Yeah. Or maybe, like, if Princess Amidala didn't end up marrying Anakin Skywalker.
Oh
like,
my
this
God, he has absolute Amidala vibes. Yes. This is just Nabooian fashion? Nabooian? Naboo-tites? I don't know what the name of someone from Naboo is.
Naboo. Are there any countries that end in "oo"?
God, there probably are, and I'm going to seem like a real asshole for not knowing.
This is his grandson, who's much more boring, but I thought I'd share that. Like that guy.
Oh, come on.
That guy is his grandpa.
Come on. And you just wear a suit and tie? Jesus. That's really upsetting now.
I know. I mean, what's more interesting is that this guy was like normal enough to just have like kids and grandkids. Like, can you imagine going over to his house for Christmas or whatever?
Oh, God. So good. Yeah, whatever his rendition of Santa Claus was, it was not what you've ever seen Santa Claus be. So awesome. Oh, shit. Well, I'm glad that podcasts are a visual medium, so everyone else will enjoy this. This might just be the image for this one.
Yeah, exactly. If I can find one that has appropriate user licensing.
Yes.
Things, we can maybe do that.
I think that might just be the image for this week, because I was really struggling here in the last few minutes to try to figure out what Aldo's adventure is going to look like. Like, how do I get that description going?
Can you just type racist Mario into...
I think it's just still going to show Mario, though. Oh, fuck. Yeah, no, mine were a lot more basic. I had Lynx, the golf game. Yeah, I had one of those versions for DOS, so I remember having to like put in the commands and get it all booted up, and I played that a lot. And then there was a poker game that was very similar. There were a few different, things. I always preferred playing blackjack. Was my favorite. Mm-hmm. Because I think I was just too stupid to understand how to play all the other ones at the time. I'm like 5 or 6, so reasonable. And then my favorite was called Scorched Earth, and it was a tank game.
Oh yeah, I remember Scorched Earth.
So fun. It has its own fair share of clones. Like even up into high school, I remember there being a lot of like flash game sites that you could go to that basically had their own version of Scorched Earth. It's a solid game. For people who aren't familiar, you are kind of on this like MS Paint map of hills or flat terrain and different features, and your tanks are just placed on the map somewhere. You might be embedded into part of a hill, and then your goal is to take out the other player's tanks, and your rounds shoot like a little bit of a tracer to them, so you can start to track that. Actually, tracer rounds might be their own thing, but you have to start to figure out how much of an arc to put on and what type of munition to use, unless you are a dick and you just have access to baby nukes, and then you just launch baby nukes onto like half the map and wipe it out. Great game. Really fun.
Yeah, I played that a couple times, but the thing I remember mostly was Worms was very similar to that.
Yeah.
Also some shareware thing I had.
Yeah, and Worms has become like its own, like in its own respect, its own franchise, style of game too.
I had Lynx as well, though much later on. My mom gave me a console that she had gotten from someone she worked with. She was an old lady who had got it for her grandkids, and they didn't use it ever because they were grown people at that point. Mm-hmm. So she gave it to my mom, who gave it to me. And
what console?
So well, that's
okay.
You've heard of a CDI, the Philips CDI.
Yes.
Where all the YouTube poop link animations come from. Kind of a knockoff of an actual games console.
Yep.
I got the knockoff version of the CDI.
Oh fuck yeah!
Called the Tandy VIS.
The Tandy
sold exactly Radio Shack's home brand, and it just played. Basically, though, it was just a stripped down Windows thing that just played CDs. It was very.
It was from Memorex.
Crappy.
I remember Memorex.
Do you?
Yes, I do. They did like floppy disks and shit.
No, I know. It's just it's like that one slogan they have. Is it Memory or is it Memorex? Never mind.
No, that's Maybelline.
Oh, is that Maybelline?
I think that's Maybelline that does that.
Wait, hold on a sec. I looked this
No,
up.
famously. Maybe it's Memory, maybe it's Maybelline.
Or is it Memorex?
Memorex, the best a man can get. Like, I'm just going to really confuse you now.
What do you call those things?
I have
Not
no
taglines.
idea.
Mottos?
Yeah, it's a slogan. It's an ad campaign.
Slogan,
it's a
thank
slogan.
you.
Yeah.
Is it live or is it Memorex? That was it. God.
Oh, yeah. That one actually does make sense for people that, existed back when, like, if you didn't see it, sometimes you just never got to see that again.
Yeah. So all the games on that thing played like the games you'd get on a DVD, like as an extra.
Mm-hmm.
Like with all that lag and everything, it was terrible. So imagine trying to play a golf game on golf was about as fast paced as you could get on a Tandy VIS.
Yeah.
The other game I had was called The Secrets of Hosea Freeman, and you just wandered around a like dead mariner's house in like Nantucket or something. I think it was a mystery, but I don't remember. I remember I was young, and there was a Sherlock Holmes game I had too. That was okay. That was
those kinds of like early like detective games can be pretty fun.
Yeah, and played into the VIS strengths, perhaps.
There is a very specific community of people that are interested in this thing, and I say that because it only yielded 5 results on Google. The way I typed this in. And there is like a very small community trying to rebuild it digitally, like run an emulator of this thing. And everyone's like, why? Why are we bothering with this?
I can only assume that they're like the psychologists or like the psychiatrists of like very, very troubled minds trapped in asylum, and they like want to reconstruct their trauma so they can figure out what went wrong with them.
Yeah, and if in all honesty, one of the 5 has nothing to do with the Memorex console. It's a thing from the DEA where the administrator named Tandy was doing an Operation Wildfire to rid meth from areas. Looks actually way more interesting than the history of the Memorex VIS. But still, fascinating.
Indeed.
I think it's really sweet that on the Philips CDI information, the Tandy VIS is listed as a competitor next to the Commodore CD-TV. So, they're in the history books.
No, yeah. I mean, the thing, like, it used to be, I remember when I was looking this up a few years ago or whatever, I found no end of advertisements for it. Like,
Wow.
Radio Shack wanted people to buy it. I don't think anyone did.
Man.
Especially when it came out in, 1990, what is it, 94?
92. Looks
92.
like, yeah.
Okay. It's a little earlier than I thought, actually. But I mean, $700
CDI
in
came out
1992.
in 91, so they were just a year behind. And that's being gracious with describing it as a year behind when it's more like the CDI came out and they went, shit, we should make one of those. Get on that real quick. Have it out by this time next year.
I mean, Tandy was pretty good about that. That's how they made all their money in the 80s, was making decent knockoff PCs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, anyway, why are we talking about this? Oh, yeah. What video games traumatized you when you were a child, Mike?
I don't know about traumatized. I mean, I'm trying to think, is there one that actually traumatized me? There's Karnov. Like, Karnov will always sit deep in my heart.
We've talked about Karnov.
Oh, a lot, I'm sure. But I think that's the only one that I was actually... No, I'll take it back. It was Karnov, and like sometimes if I really wanted to be brutal on myself, I'd play Karate Kid. It was really difficult, and like you had to get the timing right. There was not a dodge mechanic, so to speak, and your action like movement frames were really long and exaggerated, so you had to get things right because it was one of those more Castlevania style games where the enemies just are like passing through the screen, moving through. It's a brawler. And it was, that one was really interesting. I don't think I actually ever beat it. But every once in a while I'd be like, oh, fuck no. Jesus Christ.
I was going to say.
No, but I at least enjoyed Karate Kid because they had these little side games you'd go through and you could boost your stats, kind of like it was an old RPG style. So you had this chopstick fly catching game as one of them, and you had like a strength game to bust through like cinder blocks. Really, now that I think about it, it's a lot more like the ripoff of the Mortal Kombat side games. Or maybe Mortal Kombat ripped that off from Karate Kid.
I was going to say, Mortal Kombat must have come out way after that.
Yeah, probably. Probably ripped it off from them. But that actually was enjoyable, whereas Karnov, I did out of sheer frustration that a game could beat me. I was like, no, this isn't happening. Oh, God. Karnov. Fuck.
There's also some of those games that I remember as a kid being really, really fun that I don't know how I'd feel about if I went back to. Like Pitfall 3D is one of them. I don't know if you they made a 3D Pitfall game for the PlayStation. The main character was voiced by Bruce Campbell, by the way, who quips like all the way through the whole thing, which actually is probably why I enjoyed it. Although at that point in my life, I don't know I knew who he was.
Probably hadn't seen Evil Dead or Army of Darkness yet. And Boba Hotep hadn't come out yet, so yeah.
No.
Such a good movie.
Not even Spider-Man had been out yet.
No, I was just thinking of that game earlier today. That's weird. Yeah. Because I was pretty sure in my childhood brain that I actually thought maybe that was Adam Carolla and not Bruce Campbell. And now I'm trying to imagine it was there one where he voiced it because they couldn't get Bruce Campbell? And I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe.
That'd be a rough one.
I don't think Adam.
I don't
want to Google.
I don't want to think of like what he would sound like as the narrator the entire time, just ranting. Fuck. I don't know. I'm playing this Spider-Man game, and it's just a lot about men's rights.
This was like when I was a young teen, and like I had heard Love Lines once or twice, so I knew what it was. Yeah. And I just kind of assumed that like that was like what grown-ups liked. Like that was a grown-up thing.
Absolutely not. It was all for teenagers, like between like 13 and 17.
And I had to buy something for my dad for his birthday, and there was an Adam Carolla, like I don't know if it was a stand-up special or whatever, but it was like a DVD in the checkout aisle at Rose's, which tells you how quality it was.
Yup.
You were impressed when you found a DVD at Rose's. It was usually like still VHS.
Yeah, that's actually pretty rare. It was just a supercut of every end credit sequence from The Man Show. He probably loved it.
I think he probably still worries about me.
Oh no, I thought I raised him right. You listening to Carolla? Shit. Ah, fuck. Yeah, I really am now interested in this. We're going to have to, now that you've conjured Elfland in, through this bad old, shareware, abandonware shit, I need to play this. I'm looking at it. I found it. Looks interesting. Looks very interesting.
Share it with me.
Bog Turtle Game.
Although it is interesting that I googled Elfland and then the number 4 hit on Google is just Lothlorien, like the Wikipedia article for Lothlorien.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Why don't we just play that now? I mean, we're only half an hour into this episode.
Yep, I'm downloading it. I gotta get a DOS thing. I can get that going. 2 shakes.
Oh, I'm playing it in the.
You're playing it in the browser. How are you playing it right here?
Where is it? I can hear it, but I can't see it. It's so bad.
How are you? Oh, play online in the browser. All right. Here we go.
Oh my god, the sound is so bad. I have to turn the sound off.
The thing that's annoying about the sound, really, is that the, like, a beat for it was just the sound of, like, someone getting hit, and that wasn't great.
Yeah, it was like the Roblox meme noise before that ever was a thing. Yep.
Love when a game starts with a giant wall of text in neon green lettering. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
And it's all like really important information about how like the lore of the game.
Cool. And the first instruction is to Read the beginner's guide. I'm sure I have
that was on the disc. Oh my god.
Is there not?
The noise when you jump, it is the worst noise on the face of the planet.
Wait, how can you jump? How do you jump?
Control. Come on.
Oh, shit.
Also, I like how the other elves will just talk to you without you having any choice, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Horrible. Oh, God. And so you played this for what reason?
I didn't have... These are the games I had. This is all I had.
No, man. There's outdoors. Like, you can just go outside. You don't have to play a video game. Like, I played Wrecking Crew because I like puzzles, and I liked the kind of like reverse Mario chasing you through it.
Although I will point out that this game also has a lot of nice colors, which is probably why I liked it.
Yeah, if the music was like slowed down like a quarter like of the time it's at, and the sound effects for like the jump and everything were removed, I might actually like the score of this too. Because it's like carnival music, right? It's like got some carousel sound to it. It's not bad for that,
sort of.
but this part is horrible though, because I guess they want you to jump it, but like you're right. Every time you land on a new branch, oh, I went all the way down. Then you have to talk to someone.
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, so ELFLAND, we probably won't return to that ever again. Well.
There's actually, you get into like underground catacombs and stuff if you can ever manage to, like,
what?
I remember playing this game before I could read, so like I was just kind of mashing through boxes because they were just walls of meaningless symbols, and get to a part where there's a cave and there's some things you can jump over, and it's just terrible. It's a terrible game. Of course, it's there's no like. I don't even think there's a password system. So, like, when you inevitably do die, it's back to the beginning, and you have to talk to the Grand Elf before you can do. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Bummer.
Yeah, this is a weird episode. This is gonna be a weird episode.
This is a very weird episode, but you know what? That's fine. I don't know if you're just gonna have to severely edit this to get things into a standard order for the way we do things or not, but. Hey,
no, I'm just gonna edit out some of the dead sound or the dead air.
Hasn't been too much of that.
No, there has been a lot of us like just talking about things that the listener can't see.
No. We're gonna keep all of that in definitely. I guess what have you been up to this week? We kind of jumped right into it and skipped all the formalities.
Yeah. Well, I mean the reason. Yeah, no. No, I haven't had time to play anything this week, so I had this terrible idea to make you play that instead of.
No, that's fine because
me playing what we're.
Chance of Sinar is the plan, although we're not officially saying that that's what next week will be because things change. But yeah. I saw Marcus is playing it, so I think we're gonna try to have him on again next episode. That'll be fun. And I'm almost finished with it myself.
Like while we were recording.
Yeah, perfect. That's always how that works. I don't remember what happened, but one game I purchased for this, and then I looked over on Xbox Game Pass just because I wanted to torture myself. I was like, "Yep, it was right there. Didn't even have to."
What was it? What was the thing I made you pay like $50 whole for? That was terrible.
I try to push those out of my.
It was Age of Mythology.
That's what it was. Age of Mythology. Yeah, the remaster.
I thought for sure that would be on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Because
sure
it's Microsoft.
Wasn't. Oh well, it was fine.
It wasn't actually that terrible.
No, I enjoyed it actually. I just forgot that it was that pricey for it. For something so
Seems
old.
Weird.
But again, we're not in the business of judging games by price.
We say,
but I'm still feeling real salty about that one. Yeah. So just had a busy week?
Yeah, just had a busy week. So what'd you do in your snowstorm?
Yeah, we had a crazy snowstorm. It was Halloween. We actually broke the record here for Muskegon for like the whole area, like the 117-year record for snow on Halloween. Apparently, it's just always been a dusting, and we got 8.8 inches was the record total downtown. Yeah, they called for 2.5, so they got that one a little wrong. There's still some areas without power, and yeah, it's bad. It was like a wet, heavy snow. Like it stayed at 32 degrees the entire time. So it was like that perfect amount of wet coming in. Jeez, everything's fallen over. We've got tons of limbs down here. Buddy of mine, part of a tree came down onto their house, and it's just been a fucking mess. Everyone's fine there, but yeah. I just shut everything down for a couple days. Halloween got canceled here. It's a real bummer. Real bummer. You're going to have a lot of Halloween pent-up energy in kids that they're going to be looking to release somewhere. And I fear for downtown when that finally bubbles over.
I remember as a child growing up in Michigan, it was always raining on Thanksgiving, on Halloween. Yeah. Like, your mom was always making you like, no, you need to wear a jacket.
Yeah.
It is.
With your costume.
It is like 5 degrees above freezing and raining. Yeah. So you need to wear a jacket. And no one wanted to.
No, because you're like, well, I'm a cowboy. And it's like, well, you're a cowboy in the rain. Cowboy in the rain wears a jacket.
I was Norm Abram one year, though.
Jesus Christ. I think I was like a pirate one year, and I had like little mascara whiskers and stuff. Yeah. But,
I remember everyone else in my class was Power Rangers.
I always wanted to be a Power Ranger, and my parents were like, we're not doing like a merchandise style costume that you can pick up from anywhere. Exactly. We're making them, damn it.
And there was like, you saw the class divide between the people, like the kids who had like the actual Power Ranger like costumes that looked like Power Ranger outfits, and then like the kids who had to wear like jumpsuits with like a picture of a Power Ranger,
just a tucked in green shirt plastic. And like a paper plate that had a printout of a Power Ranger face.
Exactly. Yeah. And then like the really cheap plastic face thing on.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Tried to wear one of those from a friend who wins the Red Ranger one time with the plastic one, and I was very jealous even of that version of it. And the moment I put it on, the mask just started cutting my cheeks, and I was like, no, here you go. You're good. I only one time as a kid got to wear like a big deluxe mask, and it was like a vampire mask. It was real realistic. It had like the cowl attached to it and blood coming off it, and like the mouth opened, like, so you could, whole thing. And it was hot as fuck. I wanted immediately to take it off during trick-or-treating. And they were like, no, this is your costume. You got to keep it on. I was like, well, can I put it on between houses? Like, when I go to the door? Like, this is horrible. Ugh.
I remember one year my mom made me a really elaborate dragon costume with like a lot of felt and wire and stuff like that, and it had like a little brim that went over that looked like supposed to be like a dragon snout with like little fake.
That's dope.
It was very elaborate, very cool. But like literally everyone thought I was an alligator.
Oh no.
It was like green, and I could see it. Sure. I didn't have wings, which I guess would have been like, I was very adamant that you don't need to have wings to be a cool dragon. Because,
of course.
Because, the dragon in Beowulf didn't have wings.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys are thinking of, like, your basic British dragon, some shit. No, even some of those don't have wings. Some of those are non-winged dragons, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, that all came from the Romans.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Interesting.
Why are we talking about this?
Because I'm sharing my week.
So I found a way to make it about my childhood.
Yes, it's fine. It's fine. I'm used to that with every other member of my family. When we last left each other, you and I and Marcus were together recording for our spooky episode.
Oh, yes.
And I was a little hungover. I'm not going to lie. Yes. It happens.
I edited out some noises.
Yeah, there were a good amount. No hamming up for that one. That was just raw me. And so, I told you guys afterwards that I was going to go and get myself some poutine. And listed off all the types of poutine that were going to be had. And I actually did settle on one. So when we left off from the recording, I left and went to this little place down the road and got Tex-Mex poutine. And it's brisket and I was going to say corn slaw, but I guess it's just technically like corn succotash. and jalapenos, which I guess are just part of the succotash.
Also, I don't think at that point. I think that's just like a taco salad.
No. Well, because it was tater tots with barbecue sauce.
How is this poutine?
Barbecue sauce and beer cheese nacho sauce.
This is like the
Classic poutine.
the poutine of Theseus. Like if you replace the fries with tater tots and the gravy with salsa.
This is yes, absolutely. There is actually no poutine on their menu that comes with gravy. I respect them for that choice. It is an integral part of their menu, and none of them have gravy. I think only one of them is fries as well. So, anywho, went and got that, and like was so like hungover and tired that I was just like, I'm just eating it as I drive. So I had a plastic fork, and I was just wolfing down tater tot, not poutine.
Is this the piss Jeep?
This is in the piss Jeep, yes. This is actually a saga of the piss Jeep continues. And I'm going down the road, and I wanted to treat myself, you know? I wanted to take the Lakeway home. So, you know, there's a certain path I can drive, and it's basically multiple different lakes and views across those lakes the whole way back, like a nice 10, 15-minute drive. And I was going down one of them, and all of a sudden I hear and feel this massive bang, like explosion-worthy bang, come from behind me, and like the whole Jeep shakes. And I just went, no, as I'm like trying to eat my poutine, not poutine. And the car lurches to a halt and shuts down on the middle of the road, and people just start passing by me, and I just start like trying to get it going. It won't turn over. It finally turns over. And as soon as I get the accelerator going, it like crawls. And then it just sounds like if you slam your accelerator in neutral. It was that sound the entire time. It was just limping along. I finally get it off to the first area that isn't someone's driveway. And it's this big gravel lot that has a massive sign I see once I get in saying, "No vehicles allowed." Immediately, I was like, great, perfect. This is fantastic. It's like an old historical sawmill site. Awesome.
Well, I mean, it has to be able to drive to be a vehicle, right? So at this point, it's just like a steel.
Yep. Hey, you are my lawyer now. So, fine, whatever. I call a tow truck, and they're like, we need, like, you tell us the corner that you're at. And I was like, I'm not at a corner. And they were like, great, tell us the address. And I was like, there is no address because it's an old historical site, but here's an address, catty corner. Fuck. I finally got them to get it. It was a whole fucking kasha. I just sat out. It was starting to rain, and I just was out in the back of my Jeep with the back open, sitting there eating my poutine, not poutine. Just
looking at the transmission you left on the
road.
road.
No, looking at the exploded out muffler. The muffler had exploded and was in shrapnel pieces just everywhere. So turns out I had a little whoopsie with my fuel cap and fuel filter, and the pressure pulled up a little too much is what they diagnosed it with. But in the process of fixing all of that with my Jeep, they have come across the issue that the computer on board has finally crapped out as well. Possibly due to shrapnel. I have no fucking clue, but it's just not working. They were like, yeah, it's just moving constantly when we have it in like idle positions. These levels should be static, and they're just going all over the place. So your computer's fucked. And only Chevrolet? Christ, I don't know who the fuck does the Jeep. I don't know. Whoever. GM.
I think it's a General Motors thing.
It's Chevrolet, but I could be wrong.
No, maybe that's... I mean, aren't they also GM?
Oh, maybe they are. God, I just have a bad car that breaks down all the time. I don't know a lot about cars. I know how to fix my car and the issues with my car because YouTube taught me. But they were like, yeah, it's going to be really hard to find like a 1996 Jeep Grand Cherokee onboard computer.
Just use a Raspberry Pi, right?
And they're like, and I'm pretty sure they did say Chev, because they're like, yeah, the Chevrolet dealership people are the ones that are going to have to program that too. And I was like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. So it's now like we're looking at like another $1,400 on this one after I've put probably $8,000 into my old ass 96 Jeep over the last 5 years. I hate to say it, but I think it's time to call it. Time of death, 4:07 p.m., November 2nd, 2023.
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
The patient lies in the room for a week. The doctor walks by. He's like, all right, I forgot to call.
Yeah, probably should call that one now. They haven't gotten back up. So the piss Jeep rides no more.
I'm sorry to hear that.
The piss Jeep is dead. Long live the piss Jeep.
R.I.P. piss Jeep.
R.I.P. Jeep. So now I need to go buy a new car and hope that someone wants to take this burden off of my hands. Otherwise, I have to sell it for scrap for like $300, which is going to be like the biggest sting of all.
Oh, there's probably people who will take it for parts or whatever. There's enough car guys in Michigan.
It's just like everything else is fine with it now. They replaced the fuel cap. They replaced the exploded muffler. It's got a full new transmission that's like a year old. The whole brake line system's a year old. It's most of a tank of gas. Yeah. Like that alone should be worth like, that's like, I put like $98 in gas in it the last time I fueled it up.
Comes with an anti-theft gaseous aroma.
The stereo turns on and off on its own. It has a mind of its own. You can't adjust the volume or change the channels on it. It will do that for you when it wants to. And there's a leak in the windshield. No matter how many times I get it sealed or reset, it just won't go away. But someone's gonna want it. It's gonna be okay,
I'm sure
right?
Want all that? Yeah.
Oh God!
I remember my first car was pretty bad. I didn't have a working speedometer, so I just had to kind of like remember. It would work sometimes.
Where you're just looking at a sign and counting towards it.
For like 10 minutes, every other day, it would just start working. So I got used to like this. I try to like remember the sounds my engine made in what gear, and correspond that with like the speed. The car. Awesome. But the good thing about that car was that it got totaled because I got hit by a little old lady who couldn't see over her steering wheel.
Fucking lucky.
And I know.
God, if I could just get this thing running. I've got good insurance
people
on it.
Paid me $300 more than I paid for it to begin with.
Damn it. You get all the luck.
I made money on that crap.
Well, I'm just glad it didn't get the chance to kill me. It's tried so many times with like the brakes just going out on a highway. So
yeah, that's a good reason too.
Pretty fucking scary. Kept still driving it for like a year and a half after. Oh well. It's really on me. Oh fuck.
All right. Should we take a break before we do the news?
Yeah, I was going to say, let me go get a glass of wine so I can properly pour one out for old Piss Jeep. And then let's get into the gaming news.
All right. The news.
Right. News.
One of these days, you're just going to break into tequila.
It's coming close. It's getting close. No, the news is not about my piss Jeep. Let me scroll down here. So we're actually recording this the day before BlizzCon. So we'll have more news next week on that kind of stuff. But I did want to touch on what is expected to be announced during BlizzCon. So
Bill Gates will become the new leader of the Alliance.
Yes. Officially. No, but for WoW, as far as Classic goes, I don't know anymore. I cannot keep up with what is happening in current modern WoW anymore. Don't know where the story's gone. Don't know anything about that. But Classic, it's been really appealing to me. One of our friends has gone into doing the hardcore mode WoW Classic, which
seems to be very popular these days.
Yeah, I really like the idea of just like possibly having to grind for levels forever. That was my favorite part of WoW. The end game was my least favorite. So I might have to get into that at some point. But for the classic version, they're possibly moving into Cataclysm. I guess they're in Wrath of the Lich King right now is what they have available.
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
This is also confusing for me. Wrath of the Lich King, I think, was my favorite of the original three, I guess, of the original 2 expansions, Burning Crusade coming before that. And they could have really ended it there. Like, Cata is where I started to lose it.
Well, I also think that that's like the beginning of the modern period for World of Warcraft, even though it's a bit like, I mean, the modern period's been going on for a long time. It's a bit like how in comic books we call anything after 1985 the modern period. And that's like almost as long as the history of comic books at this point, before the modern. So, like, I don't. Also, like, Cata is when like all the stuff that no one liked started to show up.
Yep,
and I
sure
played
is.
a lot of WoW after Cata, and I am generally something of a Cata apologist. But Cataclysm, I think, is a demarcation point that would kind of ruin a lot of the stuff that I think appeals to people about WoW Classic.
It's like if it's somewhat like if Final Fantasy XIV said, we're going to introduce FF14 Classic, and we're going to actually roll back from the current expansions and slowly roll back to the base game that everyone hated and no one wanted to play.
Hey, I played that.
I did too. I actually, when I heard like they're literally going to have an in-game cinematic that destroys the world so they can rebuild this shitty place, I was like, oh, I actually really liked this. No one was having fun.
I played it day one. I could not get it to run on my computer. I got like 9 frames a second.
Yes.
But I did buy the $110 collector's edition. Or the because I was 21 and I had my own income and I could do stupid decisions with my money if I wanted to, Mom.
That's right. I convinced myself one of these days. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got the StarCraft 2 collector's edition around the same time. That is still one of the best collector's editions.
Shit, that actually, yeah.
It was a great box. It had like a lot of cool stuff in it.
I was gonna say, is that the one with the steel case or?
No, it's like the old. It has an art book, but it had the steel case in it too. But like the actual cardboard box opens up like a treasure chest.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It had like it came with a USB stick patterned like a
the little
like
thing.
A marine.
Yes.
Yeah, and it had the original StarCrafts on there. So
so fucking
cool. It was just an awesome collector's edition. They don't make them like that anymore. You hardly get the game these days. You had them and you just get a Funko Pop in a box.
Funko Pop is one of those things where I always know, like, it's a quick check on like where you are in a friendship with someone when like they get you a gift and it's a Funko Pop and you're like, so you really don't know me, right? Like, no, I'm into the Arrow. I love the CW stuff. I didn't need a Funko Pop. I've never displayed one of these, but thank you.
I know. When I go back to America every few years, I go to as many comic book shops as I can, and it's like Funko Pops are like this plague that have just spread. Like every time I go, more and more of them just have more Funko Pops, and there's like more of the shop that's filled with Funko Pops, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, who is buying these fucking things?
I don't know. I still actually don't know who got me my Tyrion Lannister Funko Pop. Like, I just got it one time. It was at my apartment. Like, my roommate was like, someone brought this by for you. I was like, who? And they were like, I don't know. I was like, okay. Still have no clue.
I was like, I just don't see the appeal. It's like, look, we've taken this character, this iconic look, and boiled it down to a thing that everyone can paint over onto like a orb.
It's just the chibi style. It's just chibi artwork.
Well, it's not even. It's like soulless chibi artwork.
Well, yes.
Because they never have any facial expressions or personality. It's like, and if the character does not have an actual distinct visual style, it is impossible to tell them apart. Like,
yeah.
I remember seeing a line of the Office Funko Pops, and it's just like, these are all just these could be Dilbert. This could be Doonesbury. This could be other comic strips, apparently.
Dwight's probably the only one you could pick out in one of those because he's very specific. He's got the bowl cut, and he's got the glasses and the mustard yellow shirt with the brown, it's all... Yeah. It's a very specific look.
But yeah, no. Why are we talking about Funko Pops? Jesus
I don't know.
Christ.
This is a very out there, loose episode.
Loose episode, yeah.
This is. We're slowly sliding into end of year. when Yakuzamas hits, we're going to get real sloppy.
Oh, that's what we were going to talk about. Fuck, okay. Do you have any more news?
I mean, I've got 6 more bullet points here. So, all right, real quick.
All right, let's go for it. No,
during,
real quick, just...
No, during BlizzCon, Overwatch 2 is going to be revealing a new tank. So for people who play that'll be probably exciting, I guess. I haven't played Overwatch 2 yet.
Who cares?
I liked Overwatch. It was fun, but I'm not very good. And then the players who are just make the experience horrific, generally, from their attitude, not from their gameplay prowess.
It's Team Fortress for tryhards, and who wants that?
Yeah, pretty much. You got it there. Diablo 4, I think they're still trying to keep this a thing. I guess they haven't given up on it. They've committed to annual expansion releases for right now.
I mean,
they're going to be announcing details for Season 3. Does it?
I mean, it doesn't not have good bones. Like, if you think about things where, they're like things like Fallout 76 was an absolute disaster, or Cyberpunk or whatever, absolute things when they came out. But they worked on them, and 3, 4, 5 years later, they're playable games. I think that Diablo 4 has that ability. I think that I don't think it was bad enough to begin with, but they have to put that same amount of effort into it.
The single player campaign for it, the story for it is what kept me going. The cinematics were, of course, always amazing. Loved it. Blizzard does cinematics so fucking good.
Oh, but absolutely.
It didn't keep me past that. The rest of the grind from the end of the campaign to max level, so I could do more grinding with friends, that used to drive me back in even Diablo 2 and 3, but this just... There was something about it, and I don't know if it's about the Codex of Power system that they use, where you're no longer chasing a specific drop, but you're chasing the affix and prefix of a specific drop and ripping those from it. I think that kind of lessened the idea of legendary. You're stacked out on legendaries from level 15. It doesn't feel any different.
Yeah, it maths it out a bit too much. It stops feeling like a fun journey and starts feeling like a gambling, or not gambling, but a roll of dice or numbers and stuff like that, which, all those games tend to feel that way once they start metaing them enough. You need that coat of adventure on top of it.
But there's something about when I would get in Diablo 2 or 3 a green drop. And it's oh, fuck.
Yeah,
I'm max level. I got a green drop. It is for me for a specific build that only I can get. There was something that's I've hit the next tier when you get that kind of gear. This here, it's oh, cool. Well, I've got a bunch of those. So I'll look for the one that's the best and swap it over. They're just, I never get that feeling of shit, I got this thing. I'm in a whole new tier now. Your build gets better, but you don't just jump. I don't know. There's just that little bit of spark is gone from it for me. So I'm surprised to see. I'm happy to see they're keeping content up for it, I guess, but they're going to need to do something serious changing over with the new season and a new expansion for me to want to even re-download it.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I just mean I'm not. It is. Diablo 4 is by far the worst Diablo, but I do think that as far as throwing money down at a project, there are worse things that you could do than Diablo 4. I still think fair. That you could do something with it.
Blizzard's still trying because they're also on the day that BlizzCon starts, their new mobile game starts, Warcraft Rumble. Gonna be a MOBA tower defense game with microtransactions. It looks like they're trying to be a little bit honest with it as far as the microtransactions go, because you can earn the gold or you can buy the gold, but then they have this other currency that is non-purchasable that you only can get through earnings or, playing. So I haven't seen like energy meter caps or anything like that, like you get in a lot of mobile games. I think they're trying to actually have it be something people want to play, but I don't know. I'll give it a shot. I'm just not... I don't like tower defense games. Not a big fan of MOBAs, but it's got a single player campaign, so that's interesting. I'll check it out for that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping a new IP gets announced, but probably not.
I'm sure everything. Yeah, I mean that is one thing that is interesting to think about is like with this Microsoft merger, how much of the stuff that they're going to announce. It's stuff that they've already talked over with Microsoft before, like they officially, bought them or whatever, and how much stuff do they have sitting on back burners because they couldn't move forward till they have a word on it. So
yeah, well, no, to your point exactly. This is a thing that happens, right? When you get acquired by someone like a Microsoft. They have other studios that they're babysitting, and they are nurturing like another mobile game project or their own new. You know what I mean. They're letting this little MOBA suckle at their Bill Gates' teat.
Is that what that's called?
Drink down his nectar. I don't know. That's what comes out of teats, right? Nectar.
I'm just trying to think of some kind of vampire metaphor, but you just completely knocked me on my ass with that imagery.
Anyways, this isn't even the spooky episode. What was my point? My point was that you would get sometimes like two studios that are owned by Microsoft are wanting to put out similar games around the same timetable. They're going to choose one and shelve the other. I mean, that's just what happens. So there could be a lot of projects that Blizzard had in the works that, have been shelved either indefinitely or until the time is a little bit better. I don't know. Like I said, with Bethesda's acquisition of them, I'm not for all this merging, but if it leads to higher quality gameplay, like a more developed product at launch time, I'm happy with it. Starfield...
That's never happened.
But Starfield actually was pretty good. It was less buggy.
Well, no, it's true. But like, I don't know how much I want to pin Starfield's success on Microsoft.
No.
But at the same time, like, for every one of these, there's like 5 more things where Microsoft is just killing studios because they think it'd be, like, I don't know. All of these things are going to be like that. Like,
yeah.
I hope that that's not the case with them.
Microsoft
has had a big company for a long time.
I also hope so. So, let's see. What else we got? ARKHAM Knight. We covered that recently. You heard about that game? You played it? Talked about it?
Came out like 10 years ago
that we did a whole episode on? Yeah.
Episode about?
I know. Weirdly enough, even though it came out in 2015, just a few days ago on the Epic's Game Store version, Robert Pattinson's Batman suit became available on it. For some reason, but it was for like 3 hours before it got taken down.
What?
People really aren't sure what's going on there. Like, it's 7 years out of like release and development. Like, I don't think they're putting out new DLC for it anytime soon. Unless it got the save state bump and they're like, fuck, we better make this relevant again. It's being talked about.
Yeah, gotta capitalize on this.
Very odd.
Get our $3.99 for a Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, very odd. People thought for a while there, as that was going around, that it was just a mod that was very well done until people looked at it and they were like, no. That actually, like, that came from the source. Very weird. Yeah, so that'll be an interesting thing to see. Keep an eye on that space. See if they're going to do another ARKHAM Knight thing soon.
Maybe
I don't know why.
Remastered or whatever.
Oh God!
I don't know. I was thinking about that when we were playing. I wouldn't mind like a Nightmare Plus mode or something on that new game plus.
Yeah, that would be fun. Or if they did like what they did for Metro, and did like an all-in-one thing. Start with Origins and work your way all the way through the story. That could be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I'd be down with that. Add all the like ray tracing and HD.
Yeah, I think those are also built in Unreal in Unreal 3, so it shouldn't be that hard to remake that in Unreal. So that would be cool.
Yeah.
I would be down for that.
Let's see. Last little bit of game news. Not so much news as it is a point of interest for me. Insomniac has confirmed that the new Wolverine game is going to take place in the same Earth 1048, as the Spider-Man games are taking place.
Nice.
Yeah, which means I think they're kind of gearing up to do their own little MCU video game world.
I mean, if you can do... I mean, that's the thing. It's like everyone's bitching about Marvel movies. That's because Marvel movies aren't any good anymore.
They're in real trouble.
And they've gotten really lazy with them. And it's not like the problems with comic book characters or Marvel at all, because...
No, the problem is apparently Jonathan Majors right now, as far as the MCU is concerned. They're trying to pivot from Kang to Doctor Doom to see if they can get Jonathan Majors out of it just until he gets his shit figured out.
If they can they take a break for a year, they give me like a X-Men versus Doctor Doom movie.
Sure.
Then, whatever. I'll buy a season pass.
I thought you were going to say, just take a break for a year and get me in there, guys. I can fix this for you. This is what my entire life has been building towards.
Yes. I am Wolverine. Cast me as Wolverine.
Yes. Tell you what you've really been fucking up on. You don't have Namor, and that's why you failed.
They do have Namor. He's in the Wakanda Forever.
I haven't seen that one.
It's okay.
I want to watch. I need to catch up on so many of these things. I'm behind on all the Star Wars stuff. I'm behind on all the new Marvel stuff. I haven't seen any of the new season of Loki. I do need to catch up on all of this at some point.
I know. That's my plan. Once I'm done with all the Simpsons, I'm almost there. I'm within I just
they keep putting out new ones, right?
30, yeah, but it's only once a year, man. I'll have a break.
But how long until you want to do this all over again?
Oh no! Oh, absolutely not! Absolutely not! Never again.
I don't know. I could see in another 10 years be like, I could redo that.
Maybe in 10 years, maybe. But yeah, I really want a good Wolverine game.
I do too.
I think Wolverine as a character is so half the character video game characters I like are Wolverine anyway. Like Solid Snake is just Wolverine. Geralt of Rivia is just Wolverine.
Yep.
They're all just Wolverine already. So just give me a Wolverine game.
And that's the real thing, is they need to do it right, because if they try to make Wolverine become fucking Batman and you enter sense mode and I don't know. Well, actually, you could make it work, but I want it to be
that's his whole shtick.
I want Wolverine through the ages. I want to see what Wolverine was up to, Logan was up to in the trenches of World War I and the Boer War. What was he doing during that time? Maybe he was just in Canada.
He was in the Boer War.
Maybe he was just in Canada during the Second Boer War. But
I don't think that he was involved in the Boer. That's some tricky territory for Marvel to traipse over with their fucking.
I don't know. I could actually see them just trying to whoosh, and that happened.
Yeah, it's like a panel that Alan Moore slipped in back in the 90s. He was in the Boer War. Yeah, no, that would be cool. Not so much the Boer War thing.
No, hopefully never again. Yeah, I really want to see that more. And I know, I at the same time, deride the idea of, everything needs its own cinematic universe now. The DC, not the DCU, but Warner Brothers Monsters universe that they were trying to get off the ground with Tom Cruise there. And
Universal Monsters.
Universal Monsters, that's the one. Forgive me. And
to be fair, they started that. They invented the shared movie universe.
They did invent that. And actually, I was really excited about the idea of there being a monster shared universe again coming back. They just they didn't do it well.
Well, no, that's the problem. You have to actually make good movies.
Yes. But that's the great thing, is Insomniac is making great games. I can't wait to play this.
They've never made a bad one.
I don't know.
Did they make those weird... There was that weird... I think it was the PlayStation 3. It was a game that's set in World War II, but you fought aliens. Was that them? That was okay. That was kind of weird.
I don't know if I know that one. Resistance? They did Resistance. That was post-apocalyptic. Sci-fi. I don't know. Clank.
'Cause, 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 'cause
Oh, yeah, hold on. It looks like the first Resistance Fall of Man might have been World War II. 1951
Yeah, that thing.
alternate version.
Yeah, that one wasn't bad, but it was weird.
Yeah. Spyro. Huh.
Yep, all
I didn't know they...
classics.
Yeah, nice. Very nice. Yeah. Man, that's a big pivot from like platformers to open world Spider-Man style game
It's
that they're
funny,
just like
it's the same thing that
knocking out of the
Naughty
park.
Dog did. Like
Yeah.
Naughty Dog's like Crash Bandicoot, and then they're just like, fucking Uncharted. Or that wasn't.
I think they did. Did they do Conquers between that? Bad for a Day?
No, that was Rare.
That was Rare. Man, fucking solid game.
Also, I never saw the Uncharted movie. I knew that came out, but I didn't hear anything about it.
It was fun. You watched it like a long cutscene of an Uncharted video game. Like it was enjoyable. It just wasn't. It was incredibly predictable, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If you've played an Uncharted game or seen a bunch of Indiana Jones, like you know the story beats for it. But they kept it fresh. Like it was fun. I like that kid,
Tom Holland.
the Spider-Man's kid. Yeah, he's good. He's with Zendaya.
Where are we going with this?
I don't know. Now I'm just thinking about Dune and how she was very little in it, but they were like, she's in this. She's in this. Everyone who has like this weird attraction and crush for her, come see Dune, even if you know nothing about it. And I was like, well, I have a crush on Frank Herbert, so I'm gonna go see Dune. But she's fun.
Yeah, I was disappointed that Patrick Stewart wasn't in it.
Yes. What was he, Gurney?
Yeah, he was Gurney.
Yeah.
With the knives and the fun shield cube.
Fuck. Which I was so bummed when they didn't do that shield system in the new one.
No.
Fuck.
I mean, I don't know. I really actually like the Lynch one. I like the new one really well.
Yeah,
I
did
they're
too.
both good movies.
The problem is I need to see the new one again because I went into it on a 100 milligram edible chocolate bar. And like the moment the ship rises from the water in like that first 20, 30 minutes, that's when it hit. And the rest of the movie, I don't know. I have like bits and moments of it that I really remember and other parts that are real fuzzy.
Yeah, I saw it over the course of 4 days.
That's a smarter way. That's a smarter way to
But I
watch it.
liked
It's
it
a
a lot.
long-ass movie. Yes. Yeah, that was a good movie to kind of disassociate from time for, because it is very long.
A lot of very good imagery. Like I think that
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe someday we'll talk about Dune, but I think I'm very Dune fixated.
We'll
as
play
a person.
Dune Spice Wars and talk about it.
I just think I like Dune because I don't actually think, because we talked about this before and we were trying to decide which version of Dune was best.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're all best. Even even the fictitious one that never happened. I like that one too.
Yes.
The Jodorowsky one.
Yes. That would have been so good.
Oh, I mean, that never would have happened. That would have been like, that movie would never have actually occurred.
No, it actually is in its best form as an idea in man's
as a documentary. Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
yes.
Yeah, like if they had actually got away with that, like the only thing we would have heard about it was like a news article that was just like 30 men found dead in the Algerian desert.
Yes. Oh, fuck. So that's all my gaming news.
Okay. Well, I have a new segment I want to talk to you about. We can kind of brainstorm.
Okay.
But I was thinking about talking about. But there are a lot of games that we're never going to be able to have time to talk about on here that are nevertheless games that we kind of want to talk about sometimes, at least a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about initially like a Hall of Fame, but that sounds like these games have to be more worthy than others. And then I thought about like a canon of games, like the Harold Bloom's Western canon, like list of the games that are important to the medium. And I dismissed that. So what I think we should do is create a save state like reading list. Like, some universities and stuff will have like a list of like books that are like this department these are the books you read. And I think we should do that for video games. I think the save state
Scholastic
list
program,
sounds weird.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's what about like no, because I get what you're saying. This doesn't have to be necessarily like one of the all-time greats, one of the most lauded, but like it's one for our personal like.
Yeah, I mean ones that would inform someone's understanding of our opinions about games.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say like maybe our high scores list, but I don't know if that's like, you know what I mean, like keeping in theme, trying to keep on brand. But I don't know if that's necessarily the most accurate description for it.
Yeah.
But I like that idea.
So we could think of some things. Maybe we can just, have a little segment where we mention something we want to put on there. Preferably something we both played, because I don't know if it's a very good idea to put stuff on there that only one of us have done.
Yeah.
But
I mean, one of the nice things is that, since we both have played so many video games, but different ones from each other, we do have these like different views on how a game should play. Not all the time, but a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So, no, I like this. I think this is a good idea. It's how to understand us, a primer. And it's just a list of video games.
I mean, that's the way of thinking about it.
Yes. Yeah. I'm cool with that. I like it. What would do you have a game that you would be interested in putting in there? Like, what's one of the first ones that you have come to mind?
Like, my first game comes to mind, punch me in the gut. It's going to be Final Fantasy VII, because I think that's probably where, like, I first thought of games as, like, oh, this is the medium I care about. Like,
interesting.
It used to be like I had books and comic books and movies and TV and all these things, and Final Fantasy VII was like, no, this is actually the thing you care about going forward. I get told me that story.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
that would be my first nomination.
I would allow that. I second that for being added. Is that how we're doing this?
Yeah, we'll do it that way. That sounds good.
Okay. I always feel like 8 is the superior narrative to 7 and has the better. I don't know, combat system is right, but the GF Junction system really is something that is near and dear to my heart on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not willing to nominate it at this time, as 7 is. Let's let it rest on its laurels for a bit.
That's fair.
Before 8 comes in and snatches those away, rightfully so. Interesting, though. I would have to say the first time I ever had that kind of reaction for a video game where it was like, oh, wow, this isn't just something that I get to have fun with and me and my friends get to geek over and this is a pastime. But like, this is actually telling a story and it's really in depth, would have actually been, and I've mentioned it before, but Orphan, Scion of Sorcery, for ORPHEN, Scion of Sorcery for the PlayStation 2. It was the first game I got for the PS2 because I did not get the bundle PS2. It was too expensive. So, but there was games on sale for under $30, and this was one of them. And I picked it up, and it's got like delightful anime cutscenes to it. I think it's actually based off of an old anime that I have never seen, but would be interested in seeing.
Yeah, it looks very Wild Wormsy.
It's fun. It's actually really fun. You have to play through it multiple times because each playthrough you learn more and more things about the world around you and the characters. And upon learning those things, you now have different interactions and access to new areas. And well, if I do this before that happens, then this storyline branch will appear. And it just got really, I don't know, really complex at like a very simple time for games.
This looks wicked interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of want to veto this so that we could do an
we can just
on
play
this.
it. That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, we did say games that we've both played before, so we can just
also,
do
like,
that.
I kind of feel like if I haven't heard about it, then there's probably a lot of other people who haven't heard about it. So
yeah, probably.
I mean, I'm seeing this cover art, and I feel like I've seen this in the back of like a a PSM magazine back in
Oh,
the day.
no,
but,
absolutely you have. That was all over the place.
So, I mean, it was a launch title, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
Yeah,
I
for the
think we should
cover art
totally play
alone,
this.
it looks so fucking cool. Like, that's
It's
what
got
got
some
me.
terrible reviews. Oh, my God.
Oh, these people are idiots. They don't know.
Well, I think we should check it out then.
Yes.
I'm going to put that on the list right now. All right, so that being said, is there something else you would like to nominate?
I don't know at this time if there is.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'd rather those kinds of things come a little more naturally. So.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. I also don't want to belittle Orphan by just immediately naming another thing, because that's staying with me now. I'm going to be thinking about that game a little bit today.
Okay. Well, we don't have to nominate 2 games every time we do this.
No.
We can just do
I think
one.
Final Fantasy VII is, while it may be a little based, I think it's a very good, solid first entry into our Scholastic reading program.
Yeah, it is. It's like the Beatles of video games. It is extremely overrated, but at the same time,
but it is solid. There's a reason why.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good.
So,
I like it.
are we ready for the quiz now?
Oh, and we have a quiz. Man,
I know.
hell yeah.
We're just all segments. It's like a buffet of the save state.
Yes. All out of order, but yes.
Yeah, well, sometimes you have to go to the Old Country Buffet and have a little soft serve before you can eat your...
It's the Red City Safe State, which will only be a somewhat good joke for people who lived directly in our area of Virginia.
All right. All right. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9? There's supposed to be whatever. I have 9. There's supposed to be 10 questions, but I deleted one apparently and saved one without. So there's 9 questions, but that's okay.
Are you sure you didn't just number it starting with 0?
No. 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9. Okay. I had to double check. All right. So we played a arcade clone for IBM computers called ALDO'S Adventure, if you remember that way back at the beginning of this episode. And I have a list of other arcade clones made for PCs and microcomputers.
Nice.
Some of these computer systems you've heard of, and some you might not have. But what I'm going to give you a slew of information. I will give you the year it came out. I will give you the title of the game. I will give you the console it came out, or the system it came out for.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to tell me what the classic arcade game this is a clone of.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
All right. So the first game is Killer Gorilla. It came out in 1983 for the BBC Micro and Amstrad CPC.
Okay. Killer Gorilla. So, I'm trying to think. I know it started as an arcade cabinet before it came to home consoles, and where I really found it to be a great game was in its really well-made N64 remake, which was Rampage. So I'm going to... Is this not Rampage? Are we not talking about Rampage?
It's not.
What?
No,
but
that's a good
there's
one.
Killer. It was either that or it was going to be Killer Instinct, and I was like, it's probably not Killer Instinct, because Killer Instinct
Actually,
is...
Donkey Kong.
Son of a fucking bitch, that makes no goddamn sense. Donkey Kong's not a killer. They don't show him killing K. Rool or any of them. He's just bopping him on the head.
I will point out this precedes Rampage by a number of years.
Yeah, I had a
83.
feeling. Maybe.
Okay. See, I put the easy ones right up front, but maybe I
God
did this wrong.
damn it.
All right. Next, for the ZX Spectrum, also releasing in 1983, Megapede.
Okay, well, that one I can actually get. And fuck me if it's for some reason Millipede and not Centipede, but I'm going to say that was Centipede.
That's correct.
Thank God. Thank God.
All right. Next, we have Snapper. It also came out for the BBC Micro.
Yeah.
And released in 1982.
would you say the objective is of this game is to reach from point A to point B in a not so much rhythm-esque but timing-based little struggle?
I can't give you that information.
No,
I'm
right,
sorry.
because it is definitely based off Frogger.
If only it was. It is
Holy
in fact a
fuck, are you
Pac-Man
kidding
clone.
me? What? That makes no... What? All right, you did that one on purpose, and fuck you.
And this one, they had no shape. I'm sending
Jesus Christ.
you a picture of the box art for it.
Because
right
Pac-Man
now.
famously, snappa, 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 snappa. Like, it's just what he says the whole time. Great. Great. Oh, wow, they just ripped it right off down to the color. And the fruit. Like, they didn't even bother to change it. It
Hope.
It has a Pac-Man It's Pac-Man. It's not even a gator. I thought it was going to be a gator.
That would make sense. That would at least provide some context for the term
Right?
snapper.
Jesus Christ. Or like a fish? I don't know. God. All right. Cool.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Yes.
All right. This one was released to the Apple II in 1980. It is called ABM, or Anti-Ballistic Missile.
I thought always be moving, but okay. Anti-ballistic missile. Oh, this is going to be not asteroids. I actually don't know if I remember the original name of this game. It's the Earth defense game, where you're like the little hubs of cannons that shoots with the shields, and you move between the shields, and you stop everything from coming down. Space Invaders.
It is, in fact, Missile Command.
The fuck is Missile? Oh, I know Missile Command. I remember it. You shoot with the little cursor, and then it hits, and it causes an explosion, stopping the missiles. Yeah. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Next, we have released in 1988 for the Amiga, Atari ST, and Commodore 64, Star Ray.
Star Ray. It's probably not a ripoff of Galaga? I'm going to say Galaga. Like,
It is, in fact, Defender.
I don't even know what Defender is.
You know, it's like basically Space Invaders, but like you're on a tank that moves side to side on a surface. Instead of hiding behind things.
I
You've
actually
seen
don't.
Defender.
I probably have. Probably. I'd have to check it out to know for sure.
I will admit that it has a bit of a generic name, but it was extremely popular back in the day.
Sure.
In fact, I still saw it from the arcades even in my childhood. Next up, in 1983, released for the BBC Micro and the Acorn Archimedes, E-Type. I will give you a hint, since you are not a car-savvy person. An E-Type is a kind of Jaguar, or Jaguar, as Michiganders would say.
Well, I'm not a Michigander, so.
Well, I'm just letting you know.
The day I start getting that accent, like, fucking kill me. It's horrible.
I fell off the roof and landed in the creek.
Now I have lost my car keys. It's like, oh fuck. Rough.
Give me a Verner's, will ya?
I do like Verner's, though. I do love that that's just always here. I feel like if you had to get saved by a St. Bernard on a mountain pass, in the barrel is actually just Verner's.
Yeah, absolutely.
God, it's basically just considered juice here. E-Type. I don't think it was a... Ooh, I'm going to get the name of it wrong, too. I don't think it was a... Oh, I'm going to go even further back. I was thinking the Spy Hunter game, if you remember back in the... Like, where you actually could shoot and you had to, like, load into and, like, boats and things. Very fun. I think it actually goes back before that, and it's more based on the Atari game. Pole Position is going to be my guess.
It was, in fact, Outrun, the Sega...
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's a fun one, too. That's a good one.
Those are my favorites, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. This one's a bit of a callback. Developed by Yahoo Software and released for the K-Pro in 1982. Catch'em. Spelled C-A-T capital C-H-U-M.
Oh. Cat Chum?
Yeah, Catch'em.
Oh. Oh. All right, let me get Cat Chum out of my mind, because now all I'm thinking about is that. Catch'em. I'm still seeing it as Chum. Pokemon came out like what year was this?
82.
82. It's not a monster collector game. What the fuck would this be? There was a game for the Atari where you had to use a butterfly net to catch these like pesky insects that were flying around. Is it based off that? Whatever the fuck the name of that was?
I don't know what you're talking about, but the answer is Pac-Man.
Another Pac-Man. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, do you play as the ghost in this one?
No, you actually play as a capital letter. A-M or
so
C,
it's like an ASCII
and then the
thing?
ghosts are A's.
Yeah. I like a good ASCII game back in the day. Like a nice ASCII.
Like a Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah, hell yeah. Actually have not played the remake out of ASCII for it.
I've played like 10 minutes of it, and that was almost a year ago now, because I was so excited, and I burnt myself out on like being hyped for it.
Yeah. I get that.
So I need to go back. All right, next we have released for the Atari 8-bit computers, not the consoles. In 1982, Pacific Coast Highway.
I mean, what is that? Was it called Cruisin' USA? I believe was the name of that arcade racer.
Did that come out in 1982 though?
No, probably not. I don't know any racer that did. Pacific Coast Highway. I'm going to say this is a no, because there was no arcade cabinet for Oregon Trail. I was going to say this is a weird adaptation of Oregon Trail that just takes place on the I-5.
Yeah, it's just about like my dad got a job at Boeing and now we're moving to Seattle.
I don't know. I'm gonna actually have to forfeit this one. I can't think of anything, even like a joking one.
Well, I mean that makes sense because it is not in fact a racer. It is Frogger. It's a Frogger.
God
phone.
damn it! That's the one they're trying to cross the road. Fuck. Yeah, no, that's on me though. I should have seen. I knew Frogger was coming. I just should have. That's on me. I need to visualize the highway better. You say Pacific Coast Highway, now I'm thinking of like rolling hills and a lot of turns and loops.
This should have been the Outrun clone.
Straight. This is just going to be a straight piece of road that you're crossing to a metal barrier on the other side, I guess. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Last one. Released initially in 1993, but actually apparently still being worked on by fans.
Last one, best
for
one.
Initially for the Amiga and the Amiga, and then now for basically anything that you can run a emulator on. Super Methane Brothers.
I mean, I'm going to say it's the Super Mario Brothers is what it's based off of. God, that doesn't seem right. Did Mario start as a cabinet? That can't be right. No, I know you're shaking your head. It's not. What the fuck would Super Methane Brothers be about? Because I was thinking like, okay, so they changed them from plumbers to like methane dealers, and they dealt in methane and methane accessories or some shit. But I don't know. That would be a great one. I would play that. I would play a King of the Hill, like Hank and Bobby get sucked into the Mushroom Kingdom. I would love that one.
I'm sure that was a Newgrounds Flash game.
Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah. I'm sure. Just kicking Goombas around screaming, that's my purse. I don't know you. Oh, fuck. All right.
Yeah, that absolutely that had to have been a Newgrounds Flash game.
Methane Brothers. It's the Super and the Brothers that are throwing me off with that. And you know what it could be though is Bad Street Brawler was a fun brawler, arcade brawler at the time. It could have Bad Dudes was another one. A lot of bad in there, but I could see Super Methane Brothers being like a Double Dragon clone or something, like one of those brawlers.
Yeah, that makes sense. But the answer is Bubble Bobble.
I don't even know what the fuck Bubble Bobble is. What the fuck is Bubble Bobble?
Nope. You know Bubble Bobble. Google Bubble Bobble.
I'm doing it. Bubble Bobble right now. It is fun to say. Oh, that's Bubble Booble. And oh. All right. Let me type it in properly. Hang on. Bubble Bobble. No, it's still not bringing. Wait, the little dino creatures are doing something in my brain. Oh, God. I don't think I ever played this. I think I just saw it a lot at one of my old pizza joints as a kid where like the arcade
that
machine.
cabinet was everywhere.
And I was always going to like Wild Arms or not Wild Arms. What's the Wild Hearts? No. Iron? You know the one I'm talking about where you get to it's like a Metal Slug version but like with cowboy people instead.
Oh shit.
Yes.
What is that called? Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
I don't remember the name of it. That was a good one.
I think I would see like this, and then I would look over and see those, and be like, "Well, I'm playing one of those."
Yeah. I remember the day my local video store put a Time Crisis booth next to the Rampage.
Fuck. I'd never leave.
I never.
That's where I'd
Rampage
live.
again.
Yeah, I would just play Time Crisis. I would live there somehow. I'd bring blankets, make it into a fort, and it's mine now.
The problem was, I think it was like $1.25 for a run at Time Crisis.
No,
It
yeah,
was
it's
one of those
expensive. They had to really
expensive
get an
ones.
ROI on that. That was a lot of new hardware they were developing for that.
Yeah.
But it worked great. The whole pedal system, I loved it. Like for stepping forward, you know?
Oh yeah. Was that in the first
Peeking
one? Or was
and-
that?
I think that was in like 2 and 3 where that came out.
Yeah, I
for
think the first one didn't have those.
Yeah.
I think it was just the gun. But
Yeah, but you still had to point away to reload your gun then, which was great.
oh yeah, that was the.
That was a really smart way for them to do that too, instead of having to program in like a whole new button or anything. It's just like, oh yeah, if you shoot the gun and it's not pointing at the screen, that's the reload command.
I don't even know. Was that the first one to do that? There were so many of those that. Actually, my favorite one of those
I don't know.
was what was it called? Lucky, and it was like one of those things, but like the idea was that you're like two cops in a car, so you had like you still had to like you had to like drive a car, and one player had a steering wheel in one hand and a pistol in the other, and the other player had a shotgun, and it was like you're supposed to drive the car and shoot guys. God, what was that called? That was amazing. It was called like Lucky and Star or something.
That sounds
like
like fun. I played a couple shooting games when I was a kid like that, but it wasn't too many of them. I had, Shooting Gallery for the NES. There was Duck Hunt. And it was all NES games with the light gun. And then Vice Project Doom, which had like a bunch of little different games. And then one of them was like a shootout in front of a building. And you could use your light gun for it. And then I'd always use the mirror trick on my light gun that just it sent the whole signal across the screen and wiped everyone out in like one shot all the time. It was fantastic. The moment I figured that one out, I was like, I am God now. A true American.
Yeah, I remember doing. I never had a light gun, but I remember people like doing that at my friend's house.
I lost my old one because I gave my old system to my cousin back in the day, and then reacquired it or a new system, all my old games from him, but he'd lost the light gun, so I had to buy a new one, and now it's a lame orange one instead of the old classic gray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, doesn't feel as cool.
I remember when I went to someone's house that they had an NES. It was like one of the first times I played an NES, and they got out the Duck Hunt Mario thing, like, and I remember thinking like, these poor people, they must be so poor that they have to have put 2 games on one cartridge.
Right.
I felt like I don't know why that was my line of thinking, but
that's funny. Shit. It's just your version of like shareware. You just thinking like,
Yeah.
oh, that's what it is. They can't even afford a game. They have to get multiple on one. Great. Oh, that's solid. I mean, fuck, just having a game console of any kind back then was so fucking expensive.
Yeah, no, and that's why you had to have so many friends, because you had the one
Yeah.
friend with the Dreamcast and the one friend with the Nintendo. and
No,
the
I
one
just
friend
had friends with other Nintendos, and we were sharing games with each other all the time. Like
Well, that was an important
sometimes,
part of the ecosystem as well.
yeah, it took me a while to learn, like, put your name on your game or it will get lost in that shuffle with friends. They'll be like, no, I had that copy. That's not from you. I'm like, no, I gave you Jackals, you fucking asshole. I don't want to play Addams Family anymore. Take it back. I want to ride around in a Jeep and throw grenades.
See, that was the true schoolyard, like, recess power structure.
Yeah.
Was like, how fast could you get your game back from someone else?
Yep. Yeah, they really, like, you knew they didn't respect you in any way if you weren't getting that back when you asked.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
God.
you only lent the games you really cared about to, like, your close friends.
Oh, yeah, and so, like, there was a period where I didn't lend games to people because I had lost too many. And I was just like, no, I don't do that anymore. Like, and they'd be like, I'll lend you a game. It's like, yeah, great. You can lend it to me. I'm not lending you one. Like, I'll give it back to you. I don't know you.
Yeah, my rule was I never would lend a game that I couldn't afford to lose,
Yeah, that's fair.
which wasn't really that big of a deal.
I think the one that hurt the most was Battletoads Double Dragon. Like, that one, when I lost that, I was really upset. That hurt. That was one of my favorite.
Yeah, I can't think of any ones that I mean, I guess that's a testament to how fleeting I was about games, but I can't think of any that I, like, lost or that had never made it back. I remember I lent someone a book once. It was one of the X-Wing novel, like, Star Wars novels.
Nice.
And it was, like, number 3 or 4 out of the, like, series.
Shit.
And, like, I never got it back. And, like, I didn't care because I was never going to read it again. But, like, I was missing number 3 on my shelf. Within, like, one, and I just...
Oh, wow.
just
You were
drove me
a
nuts.
kid who actually had the ability to have all of the books in a series. I was definitely, like, I was a Star Wars book kid reader, but I'd be like, well, I found number 3 in the store, so I guess I'm starting at number 3, and then, like, I'll take the list in the book and try to find the other ones later.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I mean, I'm not saying I started with 1, but I've just been, like,
yeah.
I
Fair.
had, like, 1 through 8.
Nice.
I definitely remember like the first Star Wars novel I read. It started in the middle of, like, the Yuzang Vor,
Yuzan
War,
Vong.
whatever.
Yuzan Vong. The Yuzan Vong.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sure
I
that's
also
exactly how they're pronounced.
is that Onslaught? Is that the Onslaught series that starts that? I think. I know Corsac is like, well, Corsac has been, like, destroyed during that time, but Corin Horn, also known as Kyle Halcyon, I think was his, like, fake name. I don't know.
How do you remember this shit?
I could be wrong on Kyle Halcyon. I know Halcyon was the last name that he took because it was the name of his grandfather, who was a smuggler in the Outer Rim. But he was Corsac at the time, and then he, like, did missions with Red Squadron and a few of those groups from time to time, and he got messed up into the Onslaught storyline with the Yuzan Vong, because he trained on at Yavin 4 at the temple with Luke for a while as well. It's where he fought Exar Kun.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that's a really cool storyline. Jedi. Yeah. I know I've brought it up on this podcast before, but, like, absolutely one of my favorite.
Everything you said was complete, like, nothing.
Gibberish until
Exar
Kun.
I'm like,
yes.
Oh yeah, I think it's Kun. I believe it's Kun.
It might be Kun. Kun. I don't know.
I think they say it in Old Republic. I think it's Kun.
Oh, maybe they do. Yeah, because he would have been from that time. He would have been a Sith
it's like
Lord
his
from
tomb
then.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I cannot, like, I have a series of Star Wars novels on my shelf right next to me.
Jealous.
These titles, like, they don't tell anything. Like, here, The Last Command, Dark Force Rising, Heir to the Empire, Jedi Search, Dark Apprentice, Champion of the Force. These could be anything. Like, these just sound like the most auto-generated title. I mean,
it does sound like if you typed into Chat GPT, give me book titles like they came from Wheel of Time. Like, that's it. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, just replace Jedi with the Sorcerer.
Yeah. That's it. I believe the Channeler. I think they used Channeler in that one. I don't know.
Was that it?
I think they channeled the Source. So I guess they were technically sorcerers, but it was Source, Source. Yeah.
No, I mean, not that I should tease you, because I probably could do the same thing for the fucking Horus Heresy novels, which are even less
Sure.
literally valuable than Star
So
Wars.
much so that I actually don't even know what you're talking about. So you might have to introduce me to those one day.
They're the prequels to Warhammer 40,000. So
I'm
like,
good.
There's like Warhammer, and then there's like the prequels
Yeah,
from Warhammer
no,
that are set in like the
it's okay.
30,000.
I know like what hole that would put me into because I would get into it, and then that's going to become a whole new problem. So
There's only, I think, 63 of them. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's not that big of a deal.
I mean, it actually isn't talking to a person here that like dedicated themselves to the Wheel of Time series again, which was like 14 novels. The guy died while he was still trying to write them. So
Well, that's why the Horus Heresy series is written by like 18 different people. So none of them have any like.
I'd rather that be like I would rather read a new like collective work from multiple authors. That's why I liked the Star Wars universe so much. Anyways,
You have different parts of said universe. Like
Yeah.
you can have bounty hunting stories, and you can have Jedi stories, and you can have whatever. Although it seems like Star Wars is just Jedi stories. Everything just turns into
everything turns into the fucking Force, and it's so annoying. Whatever.
All right,
Whatever.
moving on.
This has
What did
been-
you play this week?
Oh God, we're not even through that. Oh no.
It's okay. This will be short.
That's fine. I played Alan Wake. You know, I downloaded it before Halloween. I thought it'd be a fun game to play on Halloween as a spooky thing. Alan Wake 2, I should say. I haven't played. Yes, I haven't played the DLC for the original, but I've played the original several times.
Is the DLC for the original canon? I thought that was non-canonical.
I don't actually know now because they've done some weird shit. Not to spoil too much.
Yeah, I mean, what is canon with Alan Wake?
No, I think this is actually going to be one that we might need to play, but we might need to play a couple games in the process to work towards it because they have brought in, you know, I'm a big fan of the SCP stuff, like all of that spooky pasta kind of shit.
Spooky pasta, is that what we call it now?
Yes.
It's like diet creepy pasta.
Yeah, it's just a spooky pasta.
Just like the Addams Family.
Yes.
It's just like,
yes, it is.
Just like some skulls in the corner or
It's
whatever.
yeah. It's really
With,
like
the
let's be real,
Munsters.
it's the Munsters version of the Addams Family. Yes. But no, I like the lore of it. I like shows like Warehouse 13. I enjoy this idea of objects imbuing these like deep moments of psychic trauma in human history and then manifesting themselves in these weird ways. And so I loved the game
Like
Control.
Assassin's Creed.
Much like Assassin's Creed, but that has like some very problematic like ideas on genetics that I don't love to delve into. But no, I loved the game Control, and god damn, would you fucking believe it? They're merging all of it together into this storyline. It's all blending into each other. Characters from the games are all popping in. Spoiler. But like, yep, it's another shared universe that they're doing.
Real quick, we'll cut this out if it's wrong. Is Max Payne there?
I haven't gotten there yet, but like maybe. Like I am early in, but they've already brought in like a lot from the Control game into this. But it still feels Alan Wake, which is what's really interesting about that. I'm enjoying it, and you know, it's not as spooky as I would like. It's moody. It's very moody for it being a horror game like that. Like they did the mood right, but the spookiness has come a lot from the jump scares in it, which I don't appreciate as much because they feel very Five Nights at Freddy's. Like they know you're looking at something intently, and then the screen flashes and changes, and it's scary images and sounds. And do that every once in a while, and I'll be okay with it and like enjoy it and respect it. But do it enough, and it just feels really hokey. I don't know.
fair.
I don't know if they're going to overuse that yet, but I've encountered it a few times already. So, and it got me every time. Like one time, I have the Pro Xbox controller, right, where you can like remod the joystick tops.
Oh wow!
And like,
look at Mr. Fancy Pants driving around in the piss Jeep,
Yeah,
but
I know.
using an Xbox Pro controller.
Hey, that piss Jeep is theoretically worth easy 10 grand right now, but I'm probably going to get $300 scrap for it. So,
Very easy. Monopoly easy.
Easy. That's what I'm going to tell people. But no, like the scenes, those jump scenes were effective because like literally I jumped like one time, pulled up the gun and just started firing. It wasn't because I was trying to, like, I didn't know what I was doing. Just like my reflexes just like clenched everything. The joystick buttons popped off and shot in different directions. I had to go find them. It was just two metal nubs. So it worked. It's good. Like I was in this moment of suspense where I was so hyper focused on the thing I was looking at that when it jumped out, it just encompassed my whole vision. Like I was so focused on it. It got me. I just hope that's not the only trick they have to really scare me this game. Because I like the premise of it. I like where they're building the story. It's fun. It's spooky. It's not scary yet.
Well, in all fairness, like the first Alan Wake changes its tone quite a bit as you go, and like the type of scariness changes.
Yes.
I have to say, I haven't played Control. Would you say it is essential to play Control before Alan Wake 2?
Probably, actually, yeah. The themes, the characters, the idea of like how everything is manifesting itself. There are objects of power like from the Control series appearing, like that are integral to the plot of the story.
From the Wheel of Time series.
From Robert Jordan. He's like actually in there. He's like, I'm actually not dead yet. Like I've been writing them all in here. Brandon Sanderson trapped me here.
My wife had nothing
and he's
to do
a
with
fucking
it.
liar. Yes.
Actually,
Yes.
that is kind of something I could see Alan Wake doing. But it'd be like Bobbert Warden or something like that.
Yeah. Well, there is kind of a little bit of... All right. Anyways, there's some story beats in there that you're not too far off from. But I would say we should probably play Control soon. Maybe we should do it this way. Like, not, we missed it for this spooky season, but down the road... kind of an Alan Wake.
You don't need to have to be a spooky
Control.
game. I mean,
no,
we don't have to save spooky games for Halloween.
True.
We can,
next year goal,
games
Alan Wake, Control, Alan Wake 2. I think that would be good.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Stretch it out over the year, but yeah.
After Yakuzamas.
After Yakuzamas and our end of year roundup.
Have you started chipping away at 5 yet?
No, not at all. I want to put myself into an intense point of stress where I have to play each one in 1 week before.
That will hurt you.
It probably will. Hours are really picking up at work, so yes, that probably will. But
yeah,
I'll start.
I'll point out
here.
the 7 of them is actually, or the 7th one is a turn-based RPG. So. Like, that's going to really
It's going to
slow
take some
you down.
time. It's going to take some time. I probably will start playing them when we are done with next week's episode. Like, when I've done playing that one. Not necessarily when we've recorded it, but yeah. Then I got nothing really holding me back. Because we haven't figured out what we're playing past that. So
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I have been playing more City Skylines too.
Ah, how are you
I'm
liking
playing
it?
a lot. I actually like it. I mean, not to be contrarian or anything, but I actually think it's pretty good.
Yeah?
I think that a lot. I mean, it has some graphical glitches, but it's just what I liked about City Skylines, the first one, without the expansion stuff and mods, and with some crappier graphics. Like, I haven't had any bugs. I haven't had it crash on me. I mean, there's some little balancing issues, and there's one bug, but I don't even know if it's a bug. It's just like the shops are always saying, like, the shops, like, there's a day and night cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it goes, day and night. And a lot of the shops will say, like, they don't have enough customers at night. And I'm like, well, no, because everyone's at home and no one wants to buy things at 2 a.m. So I'll get these messages that are like, there's no one buying the stuff. And I'm like, well.
Can you create a nightlife? Like, can you inject a lot of cocaine and meth into your city so that people are up at night?
You could do that in the first one, but that was more like a bar / entertainment district building thing. Sure. Let you have the nightlife.
So they have some things they need to clean up.
Yeah, but it's by no means this catastrophic.
I think it was mostly the benchmarking that they were like worried about, for it.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I had the settings on medium to low depending on what thing I felt it required, and I was getting like 50 to 40 frames at the beginning of the game, and then it started to dip when I started having like 10,000 people in my city to like 25, 30. But which I admit is a bit low, and that 25 feels a lot different than the 30. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But it's been consistent. I don't have a lot of stuttering, except for sometimes when I would flip on overlays, for like trying to see where the traffic is and that sort of thing. And as I've grown from this 10,000 to like I think I have 65,000 people in the city now, it hasn't gotten worse. Like once you get to the point where like your entire screen is full of stuff, I think it kind of just that's its worst point. Like you can't get to the point where it's, or at least I haven't gotten to the point where it's gotten worse. Like it seems like that point of slowing is as far as it's going to go. Yeah, I think if you can handle bad graphics in games, you can enjoy this game. And I look forward to seeing more stuff from it. I think this game is definitely maybe built more towards people who've already played City Skylines. It's not very beginner friendly, I don't think. Like it feels like because they add some systems from that weren't in the original, like the telecom system and stuff like that, which feel more like they're building off of systems you should already know. But I like it. Hopefully we'll be free of it at some point in the near future, so I can play something else. But right now I'm very focused on it.
Oh yeah, nice. I look forward to seeing some of your creations. I think that's another one. Like it's on Xbox Game Pass, so I would like to play it, but it is again also one of those where it's like I haven't played like since SimCity 3000 maybe, or like not even like I think SimCity 2000. Like for whatever one was for like school computers that you could summon Godzilla and tornadoes. That's the one I did.
That's all of them.
Okay, well, fair enough.
That could be 2 or 3,000. It probably wasn't 4. And it probably wasn't 1.
Yeah, but yeah, it's been that long since I've played one of those games, and so I'd be interested though. I would be. I like games like 2 Point and stuff where there's a little bit of management to it, but it's more about like organizing things. Reminds me a lot of Dark Cloud in that way, where like you got to place things just right for it all to click, right? It's just on a much more deeper, complicated, intricate level.
I would say that if that's what you want, City Skylines isn't actually what you want. You want to play Anno. Because Cities Skylines is almost like it has that system, which is just, it's kind of like the guideline. Like I think of City Skylines more like gardening, where like, you got to put like different plants in different types of soil, and you got to think about that sort of thing. But like most of it is like pruning little plants and weeding a thing here and going over there, and like it's not like Anno, which is much more that like I have to have 5 factories making this, so they in turn can feed 20 factories making that, who can make so and so. I need to have workers here, but not too far away, so it has like that balancing act of like complicated machinery. And then, of course, there's Factorio, which is like the far end.
Yeah, that one always I check out, and I'm like, nope, too complicated for me. Same with like Satisfactory or any of those. It's like, oh, this just seems so complicated.
Yeah, Satisfactory I have trouble with. Just like adding that third dimension just makes me. I suddenly turn into like a giant child drawing with crayons, essentially.
Sure. All right. Well, I think we're at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been scattered this whole time, so I don't know if we already did the conclusion earlier in the episode, but
I think that was the first thing we did.
Yeah, that seems right. That's going to be our April Fool's episode. We'll just do the whole segments in reverse, all of them.
Backwards.
Yes, that too. Preparing for it now.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. If you liked it, you could leave a rating.
Yes.
Or a review.
Do it.
You could. Sorry, hold on a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, we got an email, and I got excited thinking it was from a fan.
Oh.
But it's actually someone trying to sell us something.
What are they trying to sell us?
It's called the Clap app.
Okay, I'm listening. Like, give me the Type 5.
It gives you syphilis.
No.
No. It's for creating short clips of your podcast for platforms like TikTok and Reels to expose you to a massive new audience. But of course, for editing shorts is costly in time and money.
Yeah.
Reason I'm reaching out now is I am co-founder of Clap App, an AI tool that allows you to create viral shorts for any YouTube video in seconds.
Yes.
Just drop the link to your latest podcast, and the AI will generate ready-to-publish stories of the best moments in your podcast, allowing you to reach that extra audience without the work.
Cool.
You can give it a try for free.
We all love trying to produce forms of entertainment and art without putting in any effort. That is always going to produce a good product. See Angry Pumpkins earlier.
Yeah, I mean, every great artist has thought of I have this thing that is so important for me to express. If only there was a way I could have someone do it for me and not have to actually do any work.
Yes. Yes.
But anyway, so if you like this podcast, you should comment, rate it, review it, subscribe to it. You can contact us at thesavestatepodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
Or contact us on social medias at the Save State Pod.
No cast, just the pod.
No cast for that
but not
one.
The, and then pod, just the Save State Pod.
You could tell your friends about the podcast.
Word of mouth would be great. If you're not going to do it for us, do it for Scott Karatopoulos, our number one fan.
Actually, speaking of number one fans, our listener base in Finland has tripled. Finland is now the second largest listening.
I've always said that I think the Finnish are some of the smartest people. They're really on the ball. Big ups to Finland.
Yeah,
huge fans.
It's probably actually a bunch of Finns and not, in fact, my family with VPNs.
No, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right. I guess I will cut back on the masturbatory jokes in the future then, just so that...
No. That's what my mom tunes in for.
Good. Yes.
Besides, I edit out most of those anyway.
How dare you censor me? But thank you for censoring me.
Hey, I left in a lot of
stuff.
Thank
you for censoring me. Yes. Yes, you did. Oh, fuck. All right. Thank you so much, people. Yes, like you said, rate and review. And until next time.
I've been Arvid.
Oh, I was just going to end it there. I've been Mike.
See? Yeah, he knows his own name.
I do know my own name. Yes. Yes. Goodbye.